Hey, what's up? It's Caroline. I just had an experience and wanted to share it with everyone. About a month ago, maybe longer, a friend of mine was talking to me about her own experience with bulimia, and she was saying, like, you know, she came to a point in her recovery process where she realized, like, what was it that she was trying to purge out of herself. And I thought a lot about that, and I thought back to high school and junior high, and it was like, what was I trying to starve myself of? What part of myself was I trying to purge out of myself because I didn't want it there? So anyway, I've had that in the back of my mind for the last month or so, like this notion of, with bulimia, with, you know, what are you trying to purge out of yourself? And with anorexia, what are you trying to starve with yourself? And with binging, what are you trying to fill yourself with? These actions are all metaphors for whatever's going on internally. I feel that way. And so anyway, over the last several years, in conjunction with being in recovery, but also just in general on whatever personal journey and path I've been on in life, I've you know, done what I can to rid myself of certain habits that I don't deem healthy. Like, I don't drink coffee. I'm a vegetarian because I didn't want to eat meat. And again, none of these things are judgments on other people doing these things. It's for me personally. Like, I don't have an issue with caffeine. I drink tea and whatever. So, like, anyway, the point being, like, I got a little obsessive, surprise, surprise, for someone who used to have an eating disorder. I got a little obsessive over ridding myself of all these things. And one habit that I have is a love and obsession of romantic comedies, and I love romantic comedies. So I just finished writing a book that I'm shopping around to agents and publishers, and there's a part in the book where I talk about, like, oh, my crazy vice and addiction is romantic comedies because I live vicariously through these characters that are in love instead of, like, having it in my own life. And so this notion of, like, love, being in love with a soulmate, blah, 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 has been heavy on my mind always, my whole life, but especially the last month, and I've been sort of shifting and, like, forcing myself to let go of these ideals of, like, what soulmates are and what love is. And so I've watched a bunch of romantic comedies in the last week because that's what I do. I watched 2 this weekend that were on TV, and I just finished watching Gossip Girl. I didn't watch it last night. I taped it and watched it just now. And I ate dinner while I was watching it and, like, was totally satisfied. It was leftovers from my lunch, and it was just, like, it's always a great feeling when I leave a meal just totally satisfied, no more, no less, just in a great place. It's very empowering. And so Gossip Girl ends, and I realize, and I don't want to spoil Gossip Girl for anyone that didn't watch it, but at the end of Gossip Girl, like, Serena and this guy Aaron are frolicking through Central Park, and it's really cute and sweet. And I'm just sort of like, oh my God, I love this stuff. And why am I so ashamed to admit, and why am I so embarrassed to admit that I love romantic comedies, and that I love the notion of love, and that I myself hope I, find a partner whom I can share my life with, or at least, like, date. Seriously. Whatever, anyway, I just had this moment where I was like, I don't have to rid myself of this thing that brings me joy, of this thing I like to think about and watch. Like, I don't have to rid myself of this belief, not even belief, this, like, knowing that love and passion are real, and this idealism that, like, we can find a wonderful partner and companion. And I don't know if, the notion of soulmates probably has been commodified to an extreme degree, but anyway, it was this notion of, like, I don't have to purge myself of this part of myself because it's a fun part of myself. And so then I went to my kitchen to make some tea. and I'm like realizing all this, and then it goes back to what I started this video with the notion of like, what part of myself do I want to purge? And I was like, I don't want to purge myself of this part of myself. And I just like kind of lost it and like had this moment of epiphany and clarity, lost it like tears of joy, and lost it like fell down, I'm very dramatic, like fell down in, like fell down on my kitchen floor, like sitting there like tears of joy, like, oh my God, I get it, I don't have to purge myself of this part of myself. And then the crazy other element of this epiphany and this other layer of metaphor was, I have cried so many tears in so many bathroom stalls and bathrooms everywhere. Aside from, and I don't mean like in a bulimic way, like binging and purging and crying. I mean literally like I have locked myself in bathroom stalls because it is the only place I've found solace to cry. And like, I've tried writing about it in poems and prose. It's very hard to write about, like this notion of like, like I can remember so many like profound moments in my life where I just like locked myself in a bathroom stall, in a public bathroom, like crying because it was the only place I could find catharsis. And then I realized like, well, here I am sitting in my kitchen. I'm like, why? I'm usually in the bathroom for these moments. And then I realized like, I don't need to be in the bathroom because I'm not purging. Does that make sense? Like, I was in the kitchen because I was like digesting this part of myself. And when I'm in the bathroom crying, it's usually a purge, like wanting to get rid of something, let go of negative energy, an old pain. But here I was in the kitchen, like digesting that this part of myself exists, and nurturing myself and nurturing this part of myself. And it seemed like a really cool metaphor, and I wanted to share it, and I hope it made sense. Okay. Hope everyone's having an awesome day. Bye.